What makes you, you? Is identity a fixed core, or a patchwork woven from memory, sleep, and the tech we build? Today we explore how three forces interact to shape who we become. We often think of memory as a faithful recording of the past, a mental videotape we can rewind and replay at will. But decades of research have revealed a far more complex and fascinating truth. Memory is not a static library of facts. It is a dynamic, creative, and deeply personal act of reconstruction. Every time we access a memory, we are not merely playing it back. We are rebuilding it from the ground up, pulling fragments of information stored across different regions of our brain and weaving them together into a coherent narrative. This process is less like watching a film and more like a storyteller recounting a tale that can shift and change with every telling. This rebuilding process is profoundly susceptible to influence. Our present emotions act as a powerful filter, coloring the past in their own hue. When we are happy, we tend to recall positive events more easily, bathing them in a warm, nostalgic light. When we are sad, the same memories can feel tinged with loss. The context in which we remember matters too. Returning to a childhood home can unlock a flood of forgotten sensations and details. But perhaps the most startling influence is language itself. In a landmark study by psychologist Elizabeth Loftus, participants who were asked how fast cars were going when they smashed into each other reported higher speeds and even remembered seeing broken glass that wasn't there, compared to those who were asked how fast they were going when they hit each other. Our memories are not just our own, they can be subtly reshaped by the suggestions of others, by the stories we hear, and by the very words we choose to describe our own experiences. Over time, these subtle reconstructions accumulate. Memories are not fixed in amber, they evolve. Details fade, emotions soften, and narratives are polished to better fit the person we are today. This isn't a flaw in our neural architecture, it's a fundamental feature that allows for growth and adaptation. We are constantly curating our own past, unconsciously emphasizing the moments that align with our current values and identity, and downplaying those that don't. In this way, our memories and our sense of self are locked in a perpetual dance. Our past informs who we are, but who we are right now also reshapes our past. This profound transformation of memory doesn't just happen when we're awake, it continues, perhaps even more powerfully, while we sleep. The different stages of sleep perform distinct critical jobs in memory consolidation. During deep slow-wave sleep, our brain gets to work on the day's explicit memories, the facts, figures, and skills we've learned. The hippocampus, which acts as a temporary holding bay for these new memories, replays them to the neocortex, the brain's vast long-term storage drive. This process strengthens the neural connections, effectively transferring the memories for more permanent keeping, freeing up the hippocampus to record the next day's events. It's the brain's nightly filing system, ensuring that what we learn actually sticks. Then comes REM sleep, the stage most associated with dreaming. Here, the focus shifts from facts to emotions and integration. During REM, the brain processes the emotional charge of our experiences. It works to disconnect the memory of an event from the intense, visceral emotion tied to it. This allows us to learn from difficult or even traumatic experiences without having to relive the full emotional impact every time. But REM sleep is also a hotbed of creativity. In this state of bizarre, hyper-associative thinking, the brain forges connections between seemingly unrelated ideas and memories. It's in this nightly crucible that we often find novel solutions to problems that stumped us during the day. Dreams, therefore, are not just random neural firings. They are the mind's way of processing difficult emotions and stitching together disparate experiences into a broader, more cohesive tapestry, constantly weaving and reweaving the story of our lives to maintain our sense of continuity and self. Artificial intelligence doesn't just analyze us, it actively influences us. It's the invisible architect of our digital lives, a silent partner in countless daily decisions. From the route we take to work to the news on our screen, AI is constantly learning our preferences and predicting our behavior to subtly guide our choices. This isn't merely about convenience, it's a pervasive feedback loop where the system observes us, and in turn, we adapt to the system, being shaped by the very tools we created. Nowhere is this more apparent than with recommendation algorithms. They are the gatekeepers of our information age. On social media and news sites, they curate our reality, deciding which stories and opinions we see. This creates insulated filter bubbles, reinforcing our beliefs and shielding us from dissenting views, gradually reshaping how we think. They also curate our social lives by suggesting friends, potentially narrowing our circles to people just like us. Our cultural tastes are molded too, as streaming and e-commerce platforms guide us down predictable paths, cultivating our desires. But perhaps AI's most profound influence is on our memory and sense of self. Our lives are now meticulously documented in a digital format: photos, messages, location histories. These are our modern memory traces. AI systems don't just store this data, they actively curate it. They package our past into memories and flashbacks, presenting us with a polished, algorithmically selected highlight reel of our own lives. They choose which moments to resurface, which faces to remember, and which narratives to reinforce. When external systems hold and shape our memory traces, the line between personal identity and a data-defined identity blurs. Who are we if our recollection of the past is mediated by a machine? We risk becoming reflections of our data double, a simplified version of ourselves constructed from our digital footprint. The self we present to the world becomes entangled with the self the algorithm believes us to be. Our internal narrative starts to merge with an external computational one, raising a fundamental question: who is truly in control of the story of us? If memory can be changed and AI can influence identity, who decides what a healthy self looks like? This question is no longer a distant philosophical puzzle, it's a practical, urgent challenge. The technologies to reshape the fabric of our minds are moving from science fiction to clinical reality. So who gets to be the architect of the self? The individual, exercising autonomy over their own consciousness, a therapist guided by a code of ethics, or the tech companies building the algorithms or the governments setting regulations? The debate around neurorights is intensifying as we grapple with how to protect our innermost thoughts and memories. We are at a crossroads, forced to define the essence of mental freedom before it's defined for us. Let's look at what's already happening. Clinical tools now use targeted memory reactivation, or TMR, and AI-powered therapeutic bots to help people rehearse new narratives. TMR is a fascinating process. Scientists can tag a specific memory as it's being formed with a unique sound. Later, during deep sleep, that same cue can be gently reintroduced. This reactivates the memory's neural pathway, encouraging the brain to either strengthen it or, in the case of trauma, weaken its emotional sting. Now, pair this with an AI therapy bot. These sophisticated programs guide a person through cognitive behavioral therapy, helping them identify and challenge negative thought patterns. Imagine the synergy. During the day, you work with your AI therapist to reframe a painful memory. Then at night, a smart sleep device uses TMR to subtly reinforce that new, healthier perspective, literally reshaping your memory's emotional landscape while you sleep. This is no longer just coping with the past, it's actively curating it. And this is just the beginning. The horizon is filled with possibilities both dazzling and daunting. We may soon preserve memories digitally, creating a searchable archive of our lives. Think of it as a personal black box for your brain. This could be a lifeline for those with Alzheimer's, but the implications are staggering. Who owns this digital soul? Can it be hacked? Beyond preservation, we're looking at selective memory enhancement. We could dial down the debilitating fear of a traumatic event, transforming PTSD treatment, but where do we draw the line? Could this technology be used to create soldiers who don't feel fear, or executives who don't feel guilt? Erasing the negative emotions tied to our mistakes could rob us of our capacity for empathy. And then there's the most radical frontier, generating synthetic memories. AI could allow us to implant entirely new experiences. The therapeutic potential is clear, implanting a positive memory as an emotional anchor. But the potential for misuse is terrifying. How do we protect ourselves from false memories designed to manipulate our beliefs? When reality itself becomes programmable, the foundations of trust and identity begin to crumble. It's crucial to understand that memory, sleep, and artificial intelligence are not separate forces. They are converging into a powerful triad that weaves together the fabric of who we are. Sleep is the biological crucible where our daily experiences are forged into long-term memories and integrated into our sense of self. AI is the powerful new tool we are bringing to that ancient nightly process. The choices we make, what to enhance, suppress, or create, will have profound consequences. The narrative of our life is not a perfect recording. It is a story we tell ourselves, constructed from the memories we highlight. By gaining the power to edit those memories, we are seizing the power to edit the story of our lives, and in doing so, edit our very identity. This brings us back to you. How would you want your memories shaped? This is no longer hypothetical. Would you erase the heartbreak that ultimately made you stronger? Would you install the memory of mastering a skill you never practiced, sacrificing the satisfaction of the journey? Would you choose a beautiful, comforting lie over a harsh, painful truth? These are the dilemmas we will all face. The future of the human mind is being designed in labs and boardrooms, but its impact will be felt in the most intimate corners of our lives. The conversation about this power belongs to everyone. What do you see as the greatest promise of these technologies, and what is the most profound risk? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. This is a journey into the science of being human, and we're all on it together. Subscribe for more deep dives into the questions that will define our future.